Hey, so we're at Daniel Tellis' place and we're going to install a water drum, a water purification system. I told you we were going to do it at the orphanage. That didn't work out because we weren't able to get through the 3 drums through customs. So what we did today was we went downtown Port-au-Prince. We found a place that actually sells drums just like the ones that we shipped. And we're going to use this to set up Daniel's purification. This is the dosing tank. And the one that we bought here at Port-au-Prince, I'm not sure if you can see it, but I can tell you, this had tomatoes diced in juice. There were a couple others that had some paint, some oil. We didn't go for those. We got this one that was tomatoes diced in juice originally, and since then has actually been rinsed out and cleaned. So I'm fairly confident that this is going to work very well for us. Now what we have, besides this being the tank we're going to use, Daniel has a reservoir over here that is underneath the house. I'm not sure how large it is, but you can hear the echo, so it's pretty big. This is where the raw water from the truck that shows up at each individual house. The raw water will show up here. It'll be put into the reservoir through a pipe here, and then when it's being used, it'll come up through this pipe, through this pump, go up along the side of the house, and he has a reservoir tank on top of the home that then feeds the rest of the house. Now, I'm not really sure you can see the home, but we'll get a shot of it anyway. Ultimately, what's going to happen here is that Daniel's going to set up a couple of lines so it comes from the top of the home over to this area in his courtyard that'll be able to set up with 2 dispensing taps. And people will come from the street and they'll either on the other side or in the courtyard, they'll have the dispensing tap in the jug, they'll fill up their 5 gallons worth of water, pay Daniel, and then off they go with the clean water. So, to get this started, we're going to put together a lid, attach that to the drum, then cut into the pipe, install the lid and the set into the pipe, and then turn it on and see how it goes. Let's get started. Alright, so due to trademark, patent, and processing rights, we didn't show you how we manufactured this, but here's the finished lid. Put together, about 20 minutes, no big deal, easy to do. It's going to just pop straight onto the barrel that comes with the kit. And next thing we're going to do is hook up some hoses so that we can feed the water through here, attach the pump, and then we're going to lay in the chemical sachets and start this thing turning. Okay, so we've got our drum in place next to the reservoir, next to the pipe. Getting ready to install the pump. And the pump, currently, the basic setup, the pump comes where it needs to be attached separately. It needs to be on a separate stand. So here Daniel has a telephone pole in his yard. We're going to fix the pump to the telephone pole. Now, we're also about, as you can see, less than 4 feet away from where we're going to hook it up into the line. Here at Port-au-Prince, there's always a truck rumbling by. Depending on your requirements, whether it be a great distance or a short distance, we can amend this plan so that the pump can sit directly on the drum, or we can set it up more than 4 feet away, easily up to 20 feet away, with proper tubing and hoses, if that's what your situation demands. Going. Now out of this system we've left Daniel with an option, because this isn't hooked up to anything. We need to keep that in a closed position. But we've left Daniel with an option now that if he wants to dispense like he used to be able to here, and he still can, he would be able to dispense here. This also gives him an option that if we were to put an additional valve, he would be able to bypass the entire system and remove all of this from the system. If he needed to do maintenance, or if you needed to change out a line or something, you'd be able to isolate the entire system back and just bypass it and still have water coming into the house. So right now that's the basic hookup. In a second I'm going to come back, show you the sachet, how it gets administered into the tank, and we're going to wrap up. Alright guys, welcome back. As you can see, we've cleaned up a little bit here. One of the things I want to mention that we've added here is we've added a collar onto the intake of the dosing line so that it doesn't lay over and kink, making it where the water isn't able to get into this tank. I also have here part A of the two-part system, just to show you what's actually going to go into the tank. And this is a Tyvek bag that contains the first chemical in here. And to it you add a part B. You just open the Tyvek bag, dump in your second chemical. There's a tape seal on here that you pull off, seal it up, shake it a bit, and then you're going to lift this lid, and inside where that netting was that I showed you earlier, you're going to lay this sachet plastic side up, Tyvek side down, because the Tyvek is the gas permeable side. And in order to install this, make sure it doesn't go anywhere, you're going to put it into this clip, you're going to tighten that down, close this up. You're going to leave this sachet in here for about 2 weeks. They're chlorine dioxide test strips that at the distribution line you'll be able to test to make sure that there's still chlorine dioxide coming through the system. Based on that and a few other parameters, you'll be able to establish a protocol that says every so often on a regular basis you're going to change out these sachets. Now, one other thing I want to mention, probably a couple other things, but one of the other things I want to mention right now is that when it comes to these systems, the float valve in an area like this in Haiti where there's no electricity and the pressure isn't that great to begin with, another truck going up somewhere to build something, where there isn't a lot of head pressure to begin with, we use a float valve that only can take 35 psi. So if you're in an area that has higher than 35 psi, for instance the US, there's another float valve we would need to use. That would have to be one of the parameters we know about, so that we could put in a different float valve that could handle the higher pressure system. But all in all, this is the system, and as you saw, it was very easy to put together. We did this in a little under 2 hours, and had we not been recording this, probably would have been able to do it in an hour. But at the end of the day, what's going to be coming out of Daniel's tap here is going to be the same thing as this bottle right here. And the great difference about this, the great thing is that at the end of the day, I might drink 4 of these. I'm not left with 4 plastic bottles to be thrown away. Instead, I'm left with one vessel that I took 5 gallons of water home in, and I'm going to keep reusing that, so I lower the trash and I get better water at a cheaper rate. So for World Water Missions, this is Clay Beers, Daniel Tillis, and Steve Beers behind the camera, saying thanks for watching.